You're listening to Jaymie Icke. This is the Unreported Truth. Welcome to episode 3 of the series. Today the video is going to be called Who's Your Allegiance To? Now, I want to talk about this is a video that's based very much on the UK. Now, you've got people in the positions of supposed power in the police, in the prosecution service, in the governments, in the military, and all you hear, or the reason they say they're doing those kind of things, is to represent the people. To represent the 60 million people that live in the UK, to give them, in a military case, to give them security, peace of mind in the police case, in a similar kind of scenario. Same with the prosecution service. With the government, they're there to make sure that our interests are taken into consideration and that, they do the best they can for every single one of us. Without even going any further, we all know that's not how that operates. But I'm not going to focus in on that. I want to talk about who the allegiance is to. Now, it's supposedly to the people, to the 60 million people that live in the UK. But when you look at it, it's not at all. The allegiance is to the Queen. Every single one of those industries, when you go into, your allegiance is to the Queen. The prosecution service, the Crown Prosecution Service, Her Majesty's Government, Her Majesty's Army, Her Majesty's Navy, Air Force, Majesty's Police Force. Now, I watched an interesting documentary a couple of years ago by Keith Allen called Unlawful Killing, which was on Princess Diana. And the question was raised is, in that video, it was the royals that were massively implemented or accused. So how can they be tried in the Crown Prosecution Service? If stuff comes out about the UK child abuse circle and it involves the royals, how are they going to be tried in their own prosecution service? Just think about that for a second. This is a group, a family, a tradition, if you like, that supposedly has no power anymore. It's supposedly a figurehead. The supposed power is with the elected, not the non-elected. Yeah, when you look at things like that, that just shows that to be wholly untrue. Whenever these people go into positions of power or influence, they sign their allegiance to the Queen, the royals. Yet they're just a figurehead, they have no power. That's absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Now, I don't know how you feel about that, but sitting here right now, that scares me. That makes me feel like, well, what use is the political arena then? Because they're the supposedly democratically elected people. They're the people that supposedly we have decided we want to make those decisions. We want in the positions of power and influence. Yet they're being influenced by a family that have ruled for years and not elected. Just kind of born into it. Now, I think that, going on to a completely other topic, sums up the way the world is. You can be born into a certain family and have certain rights, have certain opportunities. Or you can be born into a completely different family and have absolutely nothing. Who decides that those are the people that get those chances, get those opportunities, get that power? Who decided that? Who decides that? Now, I don't think anyone can listen to this and observe that situation and think that's okay. And all this, they're just here to bring in the tourists. That's wholly untrue. I've just explained why. Every allegiance, every person from a soldier to a politician to a police officer has their allegiance to the state, to the Queen, not to the 60 million people in this country that they're there to supposedly represent. Why? Why isn't that the case? Why aren't they signing their allegiance over to us, over to the 60 million people? The people whose decisions they make affect our lives. Do you really think a decision that Cameron makes, or whoever is controlling him makes, on bedroom tax affects the royals? Of course it doesn't. But it affects millions of people and thousands of people in this country. But his allegiance isn't to them, is it? And that's just one element that is disgustingly wrong. And that most people don't even know. And it's disgustingly wrong. And it's about time we changed that. We stood up and we said, we're not having this anymore. We're changing that. And believe me, when this story breaks, which it will, on the political paedophilia cover-up in the UK government, which will implement the royals because they were very close to the likes of Jimmy Savile. The political and royal establishment in this country is finished. It's not going to be a bit shaky, it is finished. If this whole story breaks and the proper truth, the real truth comes out about exactly what went on and still goes on today, that establishment is finished. And I, for one, cannot wait until that story breaks and the truth about the sickness behind the eyes of these people really comes out. Thanks for listening. This has been episode 3 of Jaymie Icke on the Unreported Truth. I'll speak to you tomorrow. I'm going to be talking about geoengineering. See you then.